has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, Mike, what is Boston saying about this game tonight? Missoula, he's got to be happy with all the calls he gets.
He's definitely got to be happy with all the calls he gets, that's for sure. But his team, a big win, overtime win, coming back at the end of the regulation. Now a quick turnaround. Game 2 tonight. Can they put that behind him and refocus here and take a 2-0 lead over the Indiana Pacers? Let's hear from Joe.
I don't know what the team needs. I know we got to bring it every day, and so every game gives you an opportunity to be grateful for the things that you learned and grateful for the things that you need to get better at. And I think that's been a strength of our team. Is regardless of if we won or lost, they've handled the 10 to 15 possessions that we did well, and the 10 to 15 that we have to get better at. And so. As long as we keep that mindset and, you turn the page by coming in today and looking at the film and knowing where you have to get better. So you have to do both. You got to understand why you won. You also have to be susceptible to the reasons why you can lose and get better at those every day.
Where did they find this guy? Honestly, you know what?
He's tough.
My priest is more entertaining. Honestly, this guy. Oh, my God. No wonder they hired him. He's a puppet.
That's precisely it. That is what he is. Game 2 here tonight. So down a little bit from Game 1. Game 1 was really 9.5, 10.5, depending on when you got it. 8.5 tonight for game number 2. 224.5 is the total. I'm going up, and away again here, Scotty. I think you're going to see more of what you saw the other night. Lots of threes and not a lot of D. And I think, sure, there might be an outlier at some point in this series where the game is going to go under. But I think that this is over again tonight with these teams hitting a lot of shots.
Well, you're probably right. But I took the under and because the whole world's on the over. And I'll take the points, too. I'll take the points. Everyone and their brother, it's like 100% on the over. I took the under. I think it's going to start. If Indy wants to get into this series, tonight's the night they have to, shut them down a little bit. They've got to play better defense. They got to play the defense, the full court press that they put on the Knicks, where they clamp down on their guards and don't let them get going. Tatum always has the ball in his hands. He's very long. And here's the deal. Here's the reality of it. I mean, I got that team figured out like the back of my hand. Jaylen Brown never passes the ball. He's a ball hog. So when he gets the ball, every single effing time he touches it, he shoots. It's every single time. I mean, the last time he had an assist was when his mother had a C-section with him. Was the last time he got an assist. Okay, so here's the deal. I think that they need to clamp down on his ass. I mean, you know what they need to do is get someone. I don't care if it's TJ McConnell. I don't care if it's Naismith. I don't care. Someone has to ruin his night. They have to take him out of the game. And because they can't stop Tatum. Tatum gets so many calls. It's a waste of time to guard him because all he does is get free throws. If you touch him, he goes to the line. So let him do whatever he wants. They need to stop everyone else. And here's another theory. You cannot let this little white boy Pritchard come out and start knocking down shots from everywhere. Someone needs to break his nose. Like, are you kidding me? And I believe the ball has to be in Turner's hands more. I think he's a great shooter, a great big, great threes, great tomahawk dunks. They need to get him the ball more and Siakam and attack the 10. And they've got to get Nebhard and Naismith involved. Everyone moved the ball. When they were beating the Knicks, they were moving the ball, and they were playing great press, full court D, both ends, in your face, all over you, willing to take the fouls, willing to take the bad calls, but never stopping in their relentlessness of attacking the ball. That's the only chance they have. So that's why I'm hoping it's an under.
Here are the most bet player props for tonight. Tatum under 5.5 assists. Turner under 1.5 blocks. Nebhard under 4.5 assists. Siakam over 20.5 points. Horford under 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The most bet player props.
Yeah, I thought Horford had a really good game in game one. I think he'll come back to reality tonight. They're not going to let him beat him. I like that 4, that Siakam over. I like, believe it or not, the Turner over on those blocks. And I like the Tatum over 5.5 times. I think one of the differences in Jason's game is this year has been his ability to assess the floor and get his teammates the ball for buckets. Like, he's making the right pass at the right time to get a bucket instead of being Brown. So what happened was with Brown got all that money. They gave him $300-some million, and Brown suddenly thought he was Michael Jordan. And now he shoots every single time he touches the ball. It doesn't matter. Watch. He'll be double-teamed, and he'll still shoot. He just doesn't pass the ball. The other guy, Tatum, does. I like the Tatum over. I think Tatum can still have 30 points and 10 dimes. I'm not even joking. That's how good he's gotten.
I'm on Turner tonight for 3 or more threes at plus 225. I feel like he just hangs out there. Nobody with the Celtics is really following him out there, like with the Knicks series. And he chucks too. He's another guy like Cat. You know, he gets it back there behind the arc, and he's just firing away. He makes a lot of them. So I'm going to go 3+ with him at plus 225 tonight for Turner for the series. If you think Indiana's going to come back and win, it's 10-1 now as we get ready for game number 2 here tonight. So a lot of work for Indiana to do, as we know. And if you think they can win this series and win the next one, I believe they're at 40-1 now, Scotty. Where they put the Pacers here at the bottom? I'm sorry, 35-1 is where the Pacers are to win the title.
Mike, I was just going to say that it should be plus 2,000, the series odds. It shouldn't be 10-1. It should be 20-1.
It's not enough.
Because no one in their right mind is giving them a chance to win any game. Not tonight, not any game. So why is it only a dime? Why is it only 10-1? It should be 20-1. I mean, they literally have no chance, right? So, and then with the help of the refs, I mean, it should be 30-1. I mean, I can't even take it. Like, honestly, like, I have a shirt right here. Refs are terrorists. I believe that. Refs ruin marriages, families, weddings, christenings, birthdays, holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Yom Kippur. Refs ruin everything. Everything. Refs have ruined sports for me. I can't even watch anymore. I told you, if there's a game and I'm involved in it and there's refs, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going to play with refs. I'll play anywhere you want, in the hood, in the park, in the city,
prison
at
rules.
Rucker, 4th Street, anywhere there's no refs, I'll show up. If there's refs, count me out, because I'm going to kill one of them one of these days with my bare hands.
Prison rules only for you. Prison rules. We don't want any refs out there. That's it. Prison rules only.
I don't have a problem with dirty park prison rules. Love it. Love that basketball.
No, gotta have it.
Call
indeed.
your own
All
foul.
right, so they
Be a man.
Indiana.
The other night, let me tell you this. The other day I'm playing, and I called a foul for the first time in like a year, and the guy hammered me. And then I went, timeout. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, I take it back. He didn't foul me. Meanwhile, my arm, I had to have my arm sewed back on my shoulder, but I rescinded the call, because if you call a foul with these dudes, you're a gigantic capital P. So I went, I take that back. There was no foul. Meanwhile, I picked up my arm off of the floor and had some other guy sew it back on my shoulder. I won't call a foul. Fouls are for refs and girls, okay? Same as cheese. Cheese is for girls, okay?
I have a few more things from the NBA, and then we'll start the hockey when we come back for tonight.
using the parlays against one another, right, and being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Robert Hyde just called me a P for even suggesting a foul call in a game of pickup in the Violence League. He said, if you even call it, you're a P. So Carver Hyde just called me a P right in the middle of the show, right to my face.
Sometimes it has to be done, right? I mean, sometimes those are the things that you have to do.
Man up.
To move things along. Man up. That's it. The Cleveland Cavaliers made the second round. First time they've done it in like 30-plus years with LeBron not on the team. That wasn't enough, though, to keep J.B. Bickerstaff in the head coach's room. He's finished, Scotty, chopped by the Cavs today as they send him packing.
Yeah, as I've suggested many times, and people laugh at me, there's no reason to have coaches anymore in the NBA because no one listens to them to begin with. They make a lot of money. They get 5-year deals, and they get rich. All of them get rich. Even Bickerstaff is rich now that he doesn't have to work another day in his life. He made more money in the last 2 years than you'll make your entire lifetime, everyone watching this show. And he doesn't have to – he can go to his mailbox every day and spit sunflower seeds and drink whiskey. He doesn't have to work ever again. All you need to do in this world is get a job coaching in the NBA. You'll be fired within 2 years. They'll pay you 3 more years every 2 weeks. And it's the greatest job in America. It's the greatest job in the world. Be a professional sports head coach and know the day you're hired is the day you're fired. All you have to do is get a 5-year deal at the beginning and you're automatic. Your life is set forever and you're getting fired. You just don't know which day.
Yeah, I think he had like 2 or 3 more years left on his deal.
Course.
So he just gets to cash those checks. That's it. See you later. I'll go cash checks. You don't want me to work? All right. I'll see you later. See you at the mailbox.
See you.
Bye. See you at the mailbox. The all NBA teams were released yesterday. Of course, these matter for guys' money now, Scotty. That's really all that matters is this provides guys the ability to get paid even more. Your first team, Giannis, Luka, Shai Gilgeous, Joker, and Jason Tatum. That, of course, now means that Luka and SGA qualify for Supermax deals, which I saw like in the last years of those deals, if they got them, those guys would make like 70 or 80 million a year or something like that at the end of those Supermax deals.
Yeah, and I mean, the other ones already have them, and those two are going to get them. And then the three others in Giannis, Joker, and Tatum, they're still, all three of them, primed for new deals soon enough. And they're just going to keep making gigantic sacks of money. These are the 5 alleged best players in the NBA, no questions asked. And they do, a first, second, and third team. And if you're not on that first team, you don't get it. It's that simple. So everyone else is screwed.
Jalen Brunson did make the second team. He was the closest to making the first in terms of the voting. AD, Durant, Anthony Edwards, and Kawhi were on the second. Booker, Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, Sabonis, and LeBron were on the third team. So LeBron's still making all NBA teams 20 years later.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to argue with LeBron's career and his record, so you got me there. But no one cares about the third All-NBA team.
No one cares.
No one cares
Nobody
about the second.
cares.
The only thing that matters is the first team that makes all the money. That's it. Now, Brunson's going to get rich. He's just not going to get ultra rich, which is what Luka Doncic. So Mark Cuban had better prepare himself because they're going to give that guy, I believe, at least $400 million because they've already given did you see what they gave Brown? I do not believe for 1 minute that Jaylen Brown is worth $325 million, whatever they gave him. I don't believe it for 1 minute. You heard me.
Me either.
I think he's a ball hog, and I think all he does is shoot. And I won't deny he can score, but how hard is it to score when you shoot 40 times a game? I mean, to score. Like, if you're out there for 40 minutes and every time you touch the ball, you shoot it and no one does anything, they just give it, that's all you do, and that's all he does. He just scores. And they gave him $325 million. Explain that to me over dinner. And I want a whole bottle of wine so I can listen to your rhetoric. Because they're going to give Luka Doncic $400-some million. Know that. It's coming.
Yeah, it is absolutely coming, that's for sure. OG Anunoby will test free agency. He's going to listen to offers from other teams. I already saw that the Sixers would be one of those teams that's interested in OG Anunoby. We got a long time before we have to deal with that. And WNBA last night, Caitlin Clark trying to stay positive, it says here, as the Fever fall to 0-5 after losing in Seattle. Very unfortunate for Caitlin Clark, Scotty. Big loss in Seattle.
Well, I think she's playing great. I thought she had an incredible around the back, step back, facial three last night in that game. She had great numbers in the game. I think she's starting to find her way and fill it up a lot, and she's just going to keep getting better and better and better and better and better. And then she's making everyone rich in the WNBA all of a sudden.
Yeah, but not everyone happy, though. Not everyone happy. Making them rich, but not happy, apparently.
Well, the thing is that they're unpleasable. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you, because they run it as a slum league to begin with. I mean, literally, they make no money at all, and they never have. And now all of a sudden, they're starting to see the fruits of their labor pay off because of her. And they don't like that, and I think they're just jealous of her. But I'll tell you this much, her team really does suck. They are terrible. Like, honestly, they are. You wonder why they keep getting all the number one draft picks. They are awful. Literally, I think, I'm not even kidding you when I say this, the Indiana women's basketball team could beat them.
They got charter flights, and I saw one player actually was complaining yesterday that some teams are getting bigger charter planes than other teams with some of the complaints.
So they're jealous. Here's another thing they should do. Stop trying to, this is just me, I'm saying this. Stop trying to make them all out to be supermodels, okay? With the whole, what are they wearing coming into the arena? They do this with the guys, too. It's so ridiculous. Like, what do I give a rat's ass what you're wearing into the arena, off of the team plane and into the building? I just want to see basketball. That's what you're there for.
using the parlays against one another, right, and being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Carver High, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not wrong. They're basketball players. That's what they are. They're there to play basketball and make money. And the league is there to put on an entertaining product and make money. And they run it with television and marketing and advertising and sponsors and media and everything else. It is not a supermodel catwalk. And they're trying to turn it into that, and it's just not working. Like they think it is. They all think they're supermodels, and they're not. Like they're basketball players. So like this other one, this Cameron Brink, I won't deny the chick's hot. I'm not going to deny. I mean, she's 1 in 20. Okay, like I could go through the litany of chicks in that league, and believe me, if we had a supermodel or not contest, there'd be a lot of knots. If you know what I'm saying. Now she is good looking, and I've seen her whole swimsuit spread that she's selling now and trying to get into Sports Illustrated. But at some point, can we just seriously focus on basketball? Like, aren't you a basketball player, or are you a supermodel? Which is it? Are you a movie star? Like, I always tell like my daughter, even like, what are you, a supermodel? Like, what are you trying to play basketball? Work on your game. Work on your shot. Work on your lifting and your cardio. And what are you trying to win the prom queen? You want to play basketball or not? Like you're either a baller or you're a supermodel. Make your choice, honestly. And I don't care what anybody thinks, in my opinion.
Yeah, the entering the arena stuff. That's been going on for all sports now. I mean, they do that
Clark
NFL
girl
Sundays.
Is not hot. She's a good basketball
NFL
player.
Sundays with that. They do the NFL guys on Sunday morning walking in, the NBA players walking in.
Oh, my God. It's
they show
so
everybody
annoying.
walking into the arenas nowadays. That's kind of how it goes. They even do the hockey guys now, too.
Do you not think that
all
that's
with their
lame?
trench
and
coats
the
and
hockey
long
players
hairs.
are the worst. Because if
with
you
the cup
notice,
of coffee.
Well, most of the hockey players are foreign. So when they walk in, they're uncomfortable with someone filming them to begin with. And then they walk in and they give them nothing, just a dead stare as they walk to the room. There's zero reaction. Have you ever seen Joker walk in and they film him? He might as well look through him with X-ray eyes.
He's thinking about the 7-horse that he has in the 12th at the Serbian racetrack that night is what does on Joker's mind. There you go for the hoops. I have a lot of hockey to get to, of course. You're going to talk to Coach Young next with the Lions show. You're going to have Davis after that. So we'll do most of the hockey after that. I'll at least start by giving you the goal from last night. Of course, Panthers beat the Rangers 3-0. They take a 1-0 series lead. This was one, Scotty, that I thought immediately that Shesterkin was going to want to have back. Matthew Tkachuk, he actually wanted both of them back because he gave Verhaeghe the goal on the second one. But Tkachuk making the game 1-0 in the second on ESPN. Rangers never responded after this.
And Panarin lost the puck as he lifted his head, thinking about his options. Forsling. And they score! Matthew Tkachuk with the first goal of the series.
Where's Bob Wischusen when you need him?
Yeah, no more Bob. No more hockey. No more hockey for Bob. Tweeting about it, but not.
And they got him doing golf, and honestly, he's not meant for the golf course. He's meant to be calling hockey games and NFL games. That's where in college football, that's the deal. Like they're trying to turn him into Vern Lundquist at 16. It's embarrassing. He's not a golf announcer.
They basically have like 2 tournaments, maybe even one or two tournaments that they get to have that Thursday and Friday for, and they kind of use him in that. He probably loves golf and wants to do that. But
listening to him talk about what club a guy's going to yank out of his bag from 220 out is laughable.
But that doesn't change that he's the best hockey voice they have. And even if he did the golf for 2 days, he should be doing the rest of the hockey games that they have, like this East Final between the Rangers and the Panthers. They should be doing that too. So later on, we will hear from Peter Laviolette about his Rangers. I will give you the rest of the numbers for that series. And then we have a game 1 tonight on the West Side. Oilers and Stars, game 1 in Dallas, as they will finally get their series going tonight.
You know, I have to say, and I know we're going to talk more about it, but I thought the Florida Panthers dominated the New York Rangers last night. I mean, to tell you, they had 12 shots through 2 periods. I have never heard Madison Square Garden quieter than it was last night. They were sitting on their hands. That was the most pathetic performance in an Eastern Conference Finals game 1 I've ever seen in my life by any team.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win.
He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Coles should have won that tournament, also seeking his first PGA Tour victory. He went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a 1-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Do Leafs fans stop watching hockey now, or do they root for other Canadian teams, Cam?
No, I'm not a proponent of that, and it's actually kind of bothered me that, like, all the people in Toronto are kind of like, oh, now I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. Like, why? What was your affiliation with the Oilers? Like, Canucks still exist. Like, I don't lose automatically and say, yeah, you know, I'm going to cheer for the Ottawa Senators because of the Canadian. No, I cheer for my bats.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the 2nd or 3rd inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
So check out the new betting market for the NHL playoffs that you can only get with BetMGM. They have empty net goal markets for entire slates as well as specific games. Find them in the app under the NHL tab, then the props tab. You can also find the specific game markets under each game along with the NHL props tab. The Stanley Cup playoffs and BetMGM and their mobile app. What a marriage made in heaven. If you're a hockey fan, you're loving life at BetMGM. Check it out at BetMGM.com. Coach James Young joins us on Coast to Coast every day for the Lion's Share. Coach, I said earlier that Biggerstaff got fired, but what does he care? He still gets paid for like 3 more years every couple of weeks or once a month, that big fat check in the mail. Never has to work another day in his life. I'm sure he'll have another head coaching job, though, within a year with the way they recycle paper in that league.
I don't know if he'll get a head job in a year. He may wait a couple of years, but not shocking, Ferrall. I thought J.B. Bickerstaff could have been fired last year after they got absolutely punked by the Knicks 4 games to 1 and he never adjusted. Then you look at this year, the pressure was on. There was talk about they didn't make a deep run into the finals or Eastern Conference Finals. They were going to get let go. He was going to get let go. If you think about it, it took him a 7-game series against an Orlando team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a long time. And then he basically had his best player not play the last 2 games because he was too hurt to play. He had his second best player, third best player, Jared Allen, now played the entire series or a Game 7, and Karis LeVert. Ferrall, they quit on these guys. And here's the thing. You have to punt somewhere. The first step, if you want to try and keep some of this nucleus together, is not that you have Donovan Mitchell, is to get rid of the coach. One name already came out. You know where I'm going, Ferrall, because I'm a big fan of his. Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson is the guy to go get in Cleveland. He won with the Nets. Who played really well under him? Jared Allen, Karis LeVert. It makes sense. Remember last year, if I'm not mistaken, he took the Charlotte job and then he backed out. He probably was waiting for a better job. This is the job. Kenny Atkinson, in my opinion, should be the next coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
And do you think the Lakers will pull the string on J.J. Redick so that we don't have to listen to those 3 call games anymore together? Wouldn't that be fantastic?
I wonder if J.J. got the job, him and LeBron would do the podcast live during a game. Like they have LeBron like mic'd up and they do it. It sounds like it, Ferrall. Listen, J.J. Redick is, they think that this could be the Steve Kerr, right? The lightning in the bottle, the guy that was in the announcement booth that taught and then went in and done it. Now, a lot of guys are going to J.J. Redick players. He's got the respect of the current day guy, and he's got the respect of LeBron. So he's got his backing. My sense, J.J. Redick by next week should be the coach of the Lakers.
So the defense that the Pacers played against the Knicks, kind of full court, all up in your face defense, high speed, hectic, getting underneath screens and over screens and just not letting anyone have space. They have to pull that out tonight in Boston no matter what, or they're dead meat.
No, they're absolutely dead meat if they don't do that tonight. And I think here's the thing, and they also have to play with that pace. And I think it'll be interesting, because if you're a young team like Indiana, Ferrall, and you lose the way you lost, there's only 1 or 2 ways this goes. They win close, or they get their doors blown off because they woke Boston up. I'm starting to think it may be more of the latter because I don't think they have the defensive toughness to get the stops that they need. And Boston usually gives you 1 bad game in a series. This could be it. Indiana will keep the pace up, which is why, more than anything, I like the points.
So I haven't talked to you since the Celtics. They're still shooting free throws from game 1. 30-10 in free throws. They would have carried me out on a stretcher if I were to coach with a IV bag and a towel stuffed in my mouth because of my language when I got my second tech and had a stroke. But I got to tell you, any game that's 30-10 in free throws, I don't care what you say, it's just called poorly. I don't care what anyone in Boston thinks of me. 30-10. At one point, it was 25-2.
You got to remember this, Ferrall. Going into this playoffs, Indiana was 26th in free throws attempted per game. They don't play a style, Ferrall, that to me shows enough aggression in regards to taking the ball to the basket. They don't have a low post game to try and draw fouls or even command double teams to create driving lanes. They have to be more aggressive in regards to not just in the full court game, but in the half court game too, Ferrall. They got to take the ball to the 10. I want to see Halliburton take it to the rack and try and finish. I want to see Siakam, who's sneaky athletic, go finish on someone. Nembhard, strong offensive kid. Go finish at the basket and force the referees to call fouls. But at the end of the day, Ferrall, after all that 30-10 nonsense, if you just advance the ball to the front court, they win the game. If you foul like you're supposed to, when JB got the ball in the corner, you'll win the game. As much as that happened, Rick Carlisle blew that game. He better not blow game 2 if it gets this close again.
You know who goes to the 10 more than anyone on that team, embarrassingly enough, is TJ.
McConnell.
Yeah, he goes to the hole. He has that wraparound.
The guy's got a vertical leap of 3 pieces of paper. And he gets into you, and he's strong, and he's got that little turnaround, Jay. And he's, honestly, TJ's reckless. And sometimes that's what you need. That's the problem that I think I have with Indiana, Ferrall. They're too pretty. Like, get in the muck. Like, take the ball to the rim. Put an elbow in someone's face and you try to finish. That's why I love McConnell for that team. And that's why, Ferrall, at the end of the season, if he's a free agent, every team that wants to win a championship needs a TJ McConnell. He is Pat Bev without the BS. He's not Pat Bev in regards to all the extracurriculars of podcasts. He just balls and he's tough. If I'm the Knicks and I'm a Knicks fan, I want TJ McConnell as my backup guard if I can get him.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what a perfect place for him then to play alongside or off the bench for Brunson. Honestly, because I like their back. I like Ragu. I like Deuce. I think that guy plays at a speed and a level kind of unequal by even any of those guys. DiVincenzo's a lot bigger than him and can shoot way better than him. TJ can't shoot. All right, Coach, let's look at your plays for tonight in this game in Boston.
Folks, this is going to be eerie familiar. I'm not playing around. I'm going right back to where I went before. I'm going to go over 224.5 in this game tonight. It was 221 last game. I said the game's going to be in the 230s. I think Indiana does what Indiana does. They're not going to slow down, and they can't slow down Boston. Look at the scores during the regular season. Only one time it went under this number. Give me over 224.5.
And Siakam?
Right back to Pascal Siakam. Ferrelli, it was 2.5 last game plus money. He got the 6. Now it's 3.5
assists,
plus
not
money.
Points.
For assists. Yeah,
that
for assists. Let's see for assists.
It should say assists.
Right. Plus money. Why not, Ferrall? Because if Drew Holiday puts Siakam in jail, then that means that Pascal Siakam has got to be that secondary ball handler. Pascal Siakam, over 3.5 assists, plus money too.
Now, your last play, I said earlier on the show, they got to stop letting this guy have all these buckets, and he's going to get them. It's Peyton Pritchard, and I said, you got to stop this if you're Indy. You got to stop it.
Ferrall, over 1.5 made threes. Over in 9 of his last 15 games. He got 2 of them in the second quarter. Let's put it this way. If the game is close, he plays with the starters. If it's a blowout, he gets a ton of minutes. Give me Pritchard over 1.5 made threes.
All right, should be a good game tonight at the Garden in Boston, 8 o'clock. It's the Pacers and Celtics game, too. Coach, we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the game tonight, buddy.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Hendrick ends up winning his first PGA Tour win.
He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Coles should have won that tournament. Also seeking his first PGA Tour victory, he went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in two, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Do Leafs fans stop watching hockey now, or do they root for other Canadian teams, Cam?
No, I'm not a proponent of that, and it's actually kind of bothered me that, like, all the people in Toronto are kind of like, oh, now I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. Like, why? What was your affiliation with the Oilers? Like, Canucks still exist. Like, I don't lose automatically and say, yeah, I'm going to cheer for the Ottawa Senators because of the Canadian. No, I cheer for my bats.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a minus 115 Canes, Rangers minus 105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so the Czechs beat the U.S. in that World Championship game, and then Sweden and Finland are 1-1 in overtime. So the Czechs are in, and the U.S. is out. Davis Maddock joins us every day on Coast to Coast from Fantasy Sports Today. You can follow him on X at Davis Maddock, Mattek. I have to ask you, I'm watching the Pirates. Skeens pitched well today, and for the second straight night, their bullpen imploded like no other. I mean, they gave up, 4 runs in the 10th last night and lost. And then today they were up 6-1, and they lost 7-6. That Stratton came out. It might as well have been Stratton, Vermont. I mean, this guy gave up a hit to everybody. Every single guy that came up to the plate tattooed him. And then they left him in there, and they just said, you know what? Let's just lose this game. It's more fun losing. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Their bullpen is atrocious.
It's really bad. Not the first time it's happened for them. Probably won't be the last. Stratton throws 21 pitches, only gets 2 guys out, gives up 5 earned runs. By the way, kind of hard to give up 5 earned runs on 21 pitches without walking a guy. Basically just means you did not have it in any way, shape, or form. And it honestly, what a bummer, because Skeens was so awesome. Strikeout stuff really wasn't working for Skeens today. He was mostly fine. Come on, I'm not concerned about Paul Skeens. Weird, insane box score for this game, though. The Giants had 6 guys pitch in this game. They had 5 guys who went less than 2 innings. The guy who went the most innings was Michael Black. He gave up the grand slam to former. Remember Joey Bart? Remember when Joey Bart was top overall prospect? They just DFA him. They say, "Get out of here, Bucko." Joey Bart catching for Paul Skeens today, hits a grand slam against his old team.
And a double.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a weird game. 7-6 between the Pirates in a sunny day game. I mean, just I did not have this on my bingo card.
Yeah, and I honestly, now I had the Pirates on the run line, and it just was so aggravating. They're up 6-1, and they lose after Reynolds hit the home run, and then they lose the game. Like I'm watching it. Chapman hit a 3-run homer, and it just got worse from there. the Phillies keep winning, and they're almost unstoppable these days, and they're getting it all, long balls, you name it. Bryce Harper hitting home runs last night, and then, asking some chick to prom for some kid in his neighborhood. What doesn't this guy do?
Yeah, we talked about this before the season. I mean, the Philadelphia Phillies were not – they were kind of outside the four favorite teams in the National League. They were kind of equivalent with Milwaukee in some of these markets. They are 36-14. They're 6 games up on Atlanta, and everything that can be going right for them is going right for them. Bryce Harper, one of the best hitters in baseball. Bryson Stott is kind of hitting his final form. How about Alec Bohm? One of these guys who he was like one of the best prospects in baseball. We wrote him off. He's batting 9th every single day. All of a sudden, he looks like maybe the best hitter on the team, leads them in OPS. He's got, he's got 5 home runs, but he's got 46 runs batted in. He's just walking all the time. He's been awesome. And they're getting great pitching performances out of everyone other than Taijuan Walker, but they don't even need Taijuan Walker because they just pull Spencer Turnbull out of Detroit and turn him into the best pitcher in the National League. It's been unbelievable.
Why is baseball announcing that they won't have robot umps in 25? How close are they to having robot umps? Because I have to tell you, I was watching even today Skeen's pitch, and he was throwing sliders outside the strike zone that the ump was calling strikes, and then he was throwing perfect fastballs in the zone, in the box, and he was calling them balls. And I'm sitting there watching the game with my son. I'm going, these umps are so bad, they can't even get strikes and balls right. It's unbelievable. How many times do they have to go to the first or third base ump to see a check swing or a call because the home plate umpires are so awful in baseball? And I thought to myself, I see the story, they're not going to have robot umps. Why not? I mean, because if they did it based on robotics or cameras, we would know if it was a strike or a ball. There'd be no questions asked. With umpires, with humans, not only do they have to pay them all kinds of money, but we pay them all that money and they still suck.
And they mess it up. Yeah, I mean, look, if there's one thing I think we can all universally agree that we want AI to solve, a lot of AI, very contentious, end of humanity, that, we're gonna destroy creative jobs. Look, this is what we can all agree AI should exist for. AI should be the perfect referee. It should be the robot ump. It should be the line judge. It should be, the deep safety referee in the NFL. Like, this is actually something that AI can solve. I actually don't understand why this is not just universally agreed on. It's something that we would want.
It really is unbelievable. Let's look at your picks for tonight, starting with the Pacers and Celtic game. Who do you like in Boston?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Celtics. I think they're gonna tighten up their rotation a bit. There was 14 minutes of Sam Hauser. Luke Cornett's playing backup center. I think they go smaller. I think they do a lot of the 3-guard lineups. So Jalen, Holiday, White all together. Throw Pritchard in there a little bit. I think they're gonna play a little bit faster. I know that the Pacers pushed them into overtime in game 1, but it's time for the Celtics to get serious now. They're a much better team. I'm taking the Celtics on the spread.
There's only 2 night games in baseball, and one of them you're betting on, that Oriole-White Sox game in Chicago.
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna take the run line there. I mean, look, Grayson Rodriguez back off the 15-day IL, one of the 15, 20 best pitchers in the American League. The Orioles are just a machine, and they are going to be beating up on these crappy AL Central teams all summer long. You get to go up against the White Sox. You're going to take those wins. We're taking the run line. A lesson I learned from you to take the run line against these bad teams.
So what about the Toronto-Detroit game at Comerica tonight, the other game under the lights?
Yeah, so the other game under the lights, we are going to be taking Jack Flaherty and the Detroit Tigers. I think this season that Flaherty's having is going a little bit under the radar. He's been a little bit unlucky with home runs. He leads baseball in strikeouts per 9, 33% K rate, 3% walk rate, 36% allowed hard hit rate. Look, I know Tarek Skubal, been one of the best pitchers in the American League. Reese Olson has been off to a nice start. But I think our boy Flaherty is where it's at.
My man, great stuff, Davis Banks.
using the parlays against one another, right? And being able to get a little bit of juice consig, I found to be a little interesting.
Believe me, all the rhombuses and parallelograms are constantly trying to search and find out those things every day. It's one of the battles that you know, as you expand the menu, you encounter new battles.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
This sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So if anyone cares, Sweden beat Finland in overtime on an Eriksson deflection in front of the net on a slap shot from the point, and they beat the Finns 2-1. They'll play the Czechs in the semis of the World Championships. I have to tell you, like, I was watching the Czech win over the U.S. and the end of that Sweden game, and it was very exciting. And when they won, you would have thought they won the gold medal at the Olympics. I mean, these players were piling on each other when they had the winners. And when the game ended in Czechoslovakia, I mean, literally 110% of that place was hammered drunk and lit. I mean, there were smoke bombs going off in the arena, the whole deal. Like, it's the rowdiest thing I've ever seen. It's like better than the Stanley Cup playoffs in terms of atmosphere. It's the rowdiest thing ever, Mike.
It is rowdy, and all the European countries really step it up and they get heavy into it. I don't think it obviously has as much juice here in the United States. I think that's also because it's going on at the same time as the Stanley Cup playoffs are here, so I think that kind of takes a little bit away from it. But in the Czech Republic, in Sweden, in Finland, in Germany, and all these places, they love this, and this is a huge tournament for them over there.
So I have a question for you before we hear from Laviolette. Do you believe that outside of the markets that are alive in the final four teams here for the Stanley Cup, you know who the teams are, I won't waste your time. Do you believe that people anywhere else give a rat's ass? Besides no.
Well, here's the thing. You have one original six team in, right? So having an original six team in usually gives you a little bit of something because there are Ranger fans in other places besides New York. I think in Canada, obviously, it makes a big deal because Canada as a country hasn't won a cup since '93, and with Edmonton still in it, I mean, I don't know how many people in Toronto, Montreal, Calgary, and Winnipeg are rooting for the Oilers to win the Cup, Scotty, but I'm sure a lot of Canadians want to see them bring the Cup back north of the border. But nobody cares about Florida and Dallas. You know that. I know they get no juice whatsoever. So I don't think it's going to be one of those years You've had years where it's like Sid and the Penguins against Chicago, and you have I don't think you're going to get that kind of juice this year with these last 4 teams left.
Yeah, I know. I think those other markets, Dallas and Florida, there's a hardcore base of fans.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd say 30, 40,000 base in those markets. But at the grand scheme of things, nobody else cares about it.
I'm not sure if the casual hockey fan in Detroit or Boston or Philadelphia cares about the Florida Panthers and the Dallas Stars.
No, they don't.
Some of those markets will be rooting against the Rangers, obviously. Nobody in Philly or Boston, etc., wants to see the Rangers win. But I don't think Dallas and Florida, are going to bring out the casual fan everywhere else. But they, of course, have huge fan bases. There are tons of great hockey fans in Dallas, tons of great hockey fans in the Miami, South Florida area who have been behind this team now for the second year in a row. But we're talking nationally, big stage. But they tell you the numbers are up every press release, right?
Yeah, they're
everyone
lying.
watching, so they're getting their big numbers
lying.
and big ratings.
That's
for all of it.
That's called fudge. That's called fudge.
Let's sneak Laviolette in before the end of the hour, and then we'll come back and do the rest of the hockey at the top of the third. Here he is. He thinks they could have played better. Gee, you think so, Coach?
Peter, it's the first time you've trailed in a series in the postseason. I mean, what's how do you approach the mindset now, and how does that change what you have to do?
I think we can play better. I don't think that was the best version of ourselves, and so we'll look to see what they did, see what we can do better in all areas of the game. I think there's more for us to give and more for us to do out there.
I hope so.
You're right. Game 1 didn't go our way. We now have to focus on Game 2 and make that the priority.
Jeez.
I don't think I've ever, Mike, seen a team have more guys with minuses than I did in that hockey game last night. Every guy on the Rangers stunk. And I don't know what they're doing. I got to be honest about Philip Hedl. This guy missed 80 games, 72, the last 72 games he missed. What's the difference? Round up. All I know is, and then they stick him out there for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. He played 1 playoff game. And now you got him in your rotation? For what reason? He missed the entire season. He doesn't matter.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
That was Aaron Rodgers' thing. It's your quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a luxury pick. We don't have the luxury. We're trying to win right now. I'm in a window right now, and you're going to say, no, we're going to plan this for the future. With a guy who had 4 seasons ended by injury. 4. Michael Penix is a walking injury. What are you doing taking him in the top 10?
The Bostonian versus the Book.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. And it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for, so I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.